briefly go over what I'm aware of being changed in Season 6 and being added. And after I've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to go relatively in depth with Rampart. And whether or not she's going to be broken for the game, and how she might even help it. First of all, the devotion being made a common pool weapon is nice. I like it. It means turbocharge, and it seems turbocharge is coming back, so I wonder what that's going to mean for the Havoc. The R99 becoming a legendary is kind of predictable because it's the easy way out. Instead of having to actually balance the gun, they can just make it a legendary and buff it up again and be ridiculously overpowered. Hopefully they'll nerf the Prowler back down because it is too strong at the moment. I'd appreciate if it went back down to 14 damage a shot instead of 15, at least as a start, because I didn't mind the old Prowler. The Volt is supposedly an SMG that you can treat like an AR, so that's going to be interesting, but I have no idea how that's going to go. The crafting system will hopefully encourage movement, but I don't know how varied the crafting system is, if it's only body shields for body shields, backpacks for backpacks. I don't know if that's how it works. I was kind of hoping it would be something to compensate for the amount of crap you can find throughout the map, like all these different optics and sniper stuff and so on and so on. Because the loot system in this game is so inconsistent in comparison to a game like Hyperscape, which is also a battle royale, which has good flow and has a good variety of weapons and items so far. In Hyperscape, you don't have to force yourself into a potentially RNG heavy situation just to find a fight, which is a problem Apex has, because I believe Apex should be faster paced, so maybe it needs 75 people per lobby or even 90. I feel like it needs more people. Like I mentioned, I'd like the Prowler to get nerfed a bit. I'd like Bangalore's ultimate to be reworked, even though her other two abilities are really strong. I would like her ultimate to be usable, because right now it's the second slowest ultimate in the game, and it's worthless. I'd like them to buff Death Totem, or at least for Revenant, where at least Revenant will have the ability to exit Death Protection or forcibly return himself to the totem. That would be potentially quite strong. It would have to have an animation. But if even Revenant could do that, that would be nice in my opinion, and it would just complete Revenant as a character so they don't have to touch him again. I'd like them to do something about Crypto's EMP, but at this point it's never going to get changed. I'd like them to draw back Lifeline's Revive, because right now it is too ridiculously strong. And it's not fun to play against Lifeline's Revive because there's nothing complex about what she does. She just sits behind her friends, presses Revive, and if she's Guardian Angel, there is essentially no reason for your team to die. You can play around it, but it's so difficult. Guardian Angel especially, that's like the main issue, because when you get res with Guardian Angel, oh my gosh, you're so strong. My favourite way to try and counter, well, to try and nerf Lifeline would be a destroyable barrier. So at least if you have enough firepower, you can confirm a kill. Maybe. I think Knockdown Shield should be changed to cover the entire body to prevent BMing. Because when you get knocked, if people really wanted to, they could just BM you for a Knockdown Shield, and as it is now, Knockdown Shields most of the time, for me, they just block my friend's fire. If they incorporated the whole body so you actually have to like burn through the shield, I think that'd be nice. It would put more encouragement into doing finishers, which would leave you exposed. And it would encourage you to run off and finish other people off during the fight, instead of just shield swapping at the cost of no heals. It would encourage you to actually like look for people's friends when they're still in the area, or just violently BM them. I think it's a change that needs to happen. I think Rampart is going to encourage a bad playstyle in Apex Legends. She's a defensive character that has a deployable barrier that's one way and amplifies damage. So, immediately you can tell people are going to be camping with this if they have high ground, or if they zone, or if they just wait for anything else to happen and basically just say, I will stay here, push me. As long as they have ring or high ground or other defensive characters with them, it is going to be so difficult to push a Rampart. And I get that the point of defense, a defensive character, is to be a good defense, but this seems borderline unhandleable. The only counters that I can think of to Rampart if they try camping is Crypto if his EMP destroys it, because it's the best ultimate in the game. And they can't just pick it up and redeploy it. Bangalore, because if the barrier should prevent the Bangalore smoke from being taken up by the Watson ultimate, so you should be able to shoot at the barrier and then just have cover, unless there's some special like sonar Dorito ping through the wall. Apart from that, I can't think of ways to really push it. It should be destroyable, but we don't know. It seems really good for blocking things off, so as far as encouraging the third-party meta where people just sit back and play incredibly slow and delay, I think it's bad for gameplay. I want to look on the other side of the spectrum though, because instead of just being completely negative towards Rampart, I want to try and look at her from an aggressive perspective. How is it going to help people with playstyles like my own? And how is it going to actually, so I've thought about how it is going to ruin the game from how people play and the mentality of Apex. Now I want to look at it as how it's going to help Apex. If you are aggressive Rampart, and you push a team and you wipe out a team of 3 with your friends, and then you're slightly low on health, Rampart could be really good to stop third partying. Because when people third party, they usually rush you, and that degree of aggression puts them at a disadvantage. The only reason it works is because they have more health, most of the time. If Rampart's able, depending on where and how finicky she's able to deploy her barriers, Rampart could essentially change how third partying works, and she could prevent them. Because if you're in a building and you manage to set up your Rampart forts, while you are covering, or while 2 of you are covering if you have both the doors blocked, or wherever you are, you have a situation where people can't fight back against you, and you do increased damage to them. That will compensate for your lack of health, and will either get people killed or low enough so you can kill them, or it will persuade them not to third party. And this is potentially really good, because third partying is a disease upon the game, in my opinion. I don't think it should be encouraged, I don't think there's anything good about it. People try to say it's smart, which it technically is, but it's not at all engaging for anyone involved. It's something the game really should not be trying to encourage. So in this regard, Rampart can actually be good, because she's going to discourage third partying, and the only characters that really can deal with third partying right now are Caustic, because he can just create pressure. People for some reason don't respect Caustic gas and they end up dying, instead of just sitting back and letting us heal. Lifeline, because she's broke, and potentially even Crypto. There are a few characters that try to prevent third partying, but Rampart seems like she'd be one of the most effective, if not the most effective, third party canceller in the game.
Amplified G7s. I reckon that's going to be bad.
And hemlocks. High capacity, high damage.
Oh my god, no! Amplified Prowlers! Oh god! We're not even discussing the real problem.
The SMG that does 15 damage a bullet has a huge ammo cap, a quick reload, and if you somehow push it after getting absolutely minced because it's already incredibly quick time to kill, you have to deal with the best close range gun in the game bar the R99. Have fun.